Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo. We're back here in the hangar module, once again, climbing around the inside of my Avenger to talk about some more Star Citizen. Now today we're not going to be highlighting a certain ship or talking about some crazy and ridiculous way that you might be able to make use of one of those ships. Instead, we're going to talk about enhancing your Star Citizen gameplay experience. Now, just recently, we got a bit more news about when the Dogfighting Module might be dropping. In the most recent Wingman's Hangar episode, they actually talked about the Dogfighting Module being at PAX East, which is going to be happening starting on April 11th, I believe, is the first day. Now, what they're going to be doing, now that they've actually built their world servers up, which was one of the main reasons the Dogfighting Module was delayed in the first place, they didn't really want to just shoo in, back in December, the crisis, just multiplayer servers and have us all run around. They actually wanted to get the persistent, universe-based server down. They wanted to get that all laid out and set up so they could start building the game, onto that right away and not have to worry about it later in the future, because that's the same system they're going to be using moving forward up into release through the persistent universe and all of that stuff. So now that that's ready, they can start internal testing cross-studio. They can test with their studio, the guys in Texas fighting with the guys in California and so forth. But that means they're going to be bringing it to PAX East and they're going to be revealing it for the very first time, similar to what they did with the Hangar module back at, I believe it was either Gamescom or GDC. I don't know, too many conventions with too many G's in them. But anyways, their plan is to bring it to PAX East, let people play it, see how it goes from there, and then release it to us, the backers, sometime thereafter. So that means there's a very good chance we'll be seeing the Dogfighting module, end of April, around that time, maybe even a week after PAX East. We really don't know, and of course everything is subject to change. The game is still very early in development, 1.5, 2 years now, I think. I know a lot of people are just really impatient with this game. They've put money on it and they're just like, hey, rush, rush, rush. But let me just remind you guys one thing. The reason we're so happy about the game being completely crowdfunded is because publishers are gone, right? People like EA, which everyone hates, they're gone. But a lot of the community are turning into that publisher. We're rushing them. So sit back, guys, and remember why you enjoy the fact that Star Citizen is crowdfunded so much. It's because they don't have a publisher breathing down their neck, telling them when to get things out. So don't sit in the forums and then do that yourself. Just sit back, get that second perspective for a little bit. Hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Just wanted to throw that reminder out there. But let's go ahead and talk about enhancing your gameplay experience when the Dogfighting module goes live. Of course, this will be the very first time we all get to take our ships out of the hangar into space and start shooting at each other. I mean, I am stoked for it. Everyone in the Tactical Advance organization is looking forward to it very much, and I'm really looking forward to whooping or being whooped by many of the other members in the TA organization. But what I plan on doing in terms of actual peripherals, I hate saying that word. It's the most difficult word in the word to say, peripherals. Things like joysticks and keyboards and gamepads and all of that good stuff, the Oculus Rift. What am I going to be doing and what can you do? What price points can you really look at when you talk about actually adding something to enhance your gameplay experience? Now, for me, I'm looking to spend maybe around $200 to $250. That's kind of where I'm comfortable. I don't want to go all out. I definitely do not want to purchase the Rift just yet. As awesome as it looks, I'm waiting for that resolution to kind of get maxed out and maybe more of a consumer version get pushed before I go ahead and buy a dev kit that I may not actually enjoy as much as I think it will. So for me, I'm going to start with the basics. I'm going to be running the mouse and keyboard because I like precision. The mouse and keyboard, if you ask anyone who plays like Arma 2 and Arma 3 and flies the helicopters and things like that in there, mouse and keyboard, super, super precise. But what you do then is you combine that with a rudder pedal setup. It gives you that extra bit of control, and it's phenomenal. I mean, it's probably one of the best setups you can run precision-wise. Now, of course, if you're looking for the immersion sort of experience, you have 3 screens all set up, and you're all good to go. You might be looking at something like maybe a HOTAS, the Warthog, the really big $500 joystick setup. But again, it's really dependent on how much money you want to spend. If you don't want to spend anything, mouse and keyboard is just fine. And, boom, you can go from there. You don't need the rudder pedals. You can use the keys all over the place. That's just fine. If that's what you want to do, you can do that. If you want to use an Xbox 360 gamepad, a wired one, a lot of teams now are developing their games right alongside the gamepad, and I believe CIG is doing just that. The first time we even saw the game, Chris Roberts was actually playing it with an Xbox 360 gamepad, and you can also walk around the hangar already. It works great. It's very smooth, and I imagine it'll work wonderfully when the Dogfighting module goes live. Plus, you can pick one of those up for like $20, so if you don't have one, I mean, your budget doesn't have to really be, sky's the limit to purchase an Xbox 360 wired gamepad. It's really all about that price point. I mean, you can even, you really, really want a joystick? You can still do that. They have single joysticks for around $50 to $100, If you shop around, hit up eBay, Amazon, catch a sale on Newegg or something like that, or even, at your local garage sale, Craigslist kind of thing. You might be able to find one even cheaper, and you can run that with the mouse and keyboard. There are so many combinations for how you're going to be able to play this game. So I've already said I plan on using the rudder pedals. The other big purchase that I plan on doing that's going to push me into that $250 limit is a Track IR5. These retail for around $149.99. Now I'll have links in the description below to the Track IR5 as well as to my recommended rudder pedal setup. The Track IR5 though is a head tracking device. So what does this mean for those of you who maybe have no idea what the Track IR5 actually is? Essentially, if you play a game like DayZ or Arma, first-person shooter that has head tracking, you can use the Track IR to free look. Okay, so what does that mean? Let's put this into Star Citizen perspective. I'm inside of my Avenger, and right now, you know, you can look around when you climb inside your ship. You're actually allowed to move your head around. The thing is, when the game goes live and you're actually flying, you're only going to be able to do one or the other. You're going to be able to toggle a button for free look, which is going to allow you to look around the cockpit, but you're then going to lose control of your actual ship. Now, of course, you could keybind the free look to the keys somewhere. It would just be ridiculous. It's too much. With the Track IR5, you can continue to push your ship in whatever direction you feel is necessary. Maybe you're in a dogfight, you need to chase somebody down, and then you can actually use the head tracking to look around the ship, just like in real life. It gives you a huge advantage. I mean, I have to be honest, in a dogfighting situation, if you can free look and see what's going on and check your six and look out to the right and get your bearings while still flying where you want to fly, while still engaging an enemy possibly, that's a huge advantage, and it's also a really big immersion factor for me. Being able to actually just look around the world while walking around, it changes the game so much. It's a small touch that I think goes a long way. And of course, the nice thing about the Track IR5 is you can use it in games like DayZ and Arma. Just about any game on PC that supports head tracking supports the Track IR. I mean, they're kind of the guys who made that thing, so they really know how to make it function properly. So for me, I'm looking around $200 to $250. Not a crazy expensive setup, and as I said, you can go with something crazy like the HOTAS Warthog. Of course, there are, you know, sort of rumors here and there that Star Citizen CIG is actually going to be building their own joystick branded with Star Citizen for the game. Really don't have any news on that about a price point or anything like that. I would hope that they would kind of go all out. I mean, yes, that would make it very expensive, but if you're going to give something to your backers and allow them to purchase something with a Star Citizen name on it, you know, you probably want it to be pretty high quality, something like the HOTAS. So really what I have to ask you guys is how you plan on playing Star Citizen when the dogfighting module goes live, when we can actually finally get in our ships for the very first time and head out into space and fire off some lasers. Let me know what you'll be running in the comment section below, whether it be a keyboard and mouse, an Xbox 360 gamepad, or some ridiculous triple screen Track IR5 HOTAS setup. I want to know what you're going to be running. Tell me in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.